Did you do your cardio? I guess if I say today, it's probably guaranteed not true. Have you done cardio this year? Have you done cardio in your whole life? Maybe not. Maybe freaking not. So it's 11:07 on a Sunday. Perfect time to go to the Planet Fitness and sit on the seated bike for 30 minutes. I probably would prefer to go to the Y near me just because they have a sauna. And I mean, it's not like I think I'm doing anything crazy in the sauna. Like I'm not reaping any insane benefits. I just kind of like being in there after cardio. When I'm cutting down though, when I'm bulking, I want to just do the cardio and then get back to the house and eat something. But on a cut, usually I'll jump in the sauna sometimes, kind of just for fun. Sweat some, just sweat. But let's just break down the routine of what the morning cardio even is. So, I took all my vitamins. I had some toast dipped in some olive oil with some salt and. Damn, I wanted to dip it in salt with like spicy pepper flakes, but the only thing I had was black pepper. It was fine, but whatever. So I had my vitamins with some fats, with some lipids. So that's going to be probably your best bet is to take vitamins with food, specifically fats, since some of them are fat soluble. But did that, took my. Actually, I didn't do 200 milligrams of a caffeine capsule, of the pure hostile caffeine capsule. I got two of those Mountain Dew mystery flavors, zero sugar, of course. And I drank those. That's where I got my 220 grams, 220 milligrams of caffeine from. I'll kind of rip on the energy drinks sometimes, just because you can get like the only thing I want out of it is the caffeine, but it is a treat, so it's not like it's a problem. But if you're doing like 4 or 5 a day, for one thing, I think you have a caffeine tolerance issue, which is its own problem. But I mean, that's like 15, $20 a day of energy drinks, man. Now, unless you're getting like a pallet wholesale, it's probably not the best method. But two of those, so it's not like I need the caffeine to do the cardio. I think I remember looking something up where it was like, having caffeine in your system is going to make you use lipids for energy more easily. But either way, morning morning cardio coincides with morning caffeine just to kind of wake up. I don't feel like I do that much caffeine. I mean, I only do two in the morning and then two or three, 100 milligrams for the workout. The daily recommended allowance is 400 milligrams, and I'm kind of a bigger guy, so I think I'm probably on point with my caffeine consumption. But oh yeah, so in terms of the types of cardio you can do, you got the stairmaster, the treadmill. I guess you can just walk around or go on a jog. I'm not really into that. Just because, for one thing, kind of high impact. I don't really, at least me, I don't want to be running around like that. I like the smoothness of the pedaling action. But also, if you're running around for a half hour, you don't get to really play on your phone at all. You can just listen to your music. This isn't really a rip on people who like to jog for their cardio. I'm not into it. I'd rather sit down on the seated bike, or I guess it's not. The seated bike is the one where the pedals are right beneath you. I'm thinking more so of the, oh, what's it called? I forget. It's like a seat, but the pedals are like kind of in front of you. I think that's the easiest one just because for me to do 300 calories worth of cardio, at least what the machine says is 300 calories on like the treadmill, then I've got to do at least like a 4 or 5% incline, go three-ish, maybe 3.5 miles an hour. And at a walking pace, well, still walking, like not breaking into a little bit of a jog, that's going to take like 45 minutes. So it takes a little longer. And then if I do the seated bike like I like, I can get the machine up to 300 and I could break a solid sweat pretty quick. Like, it's not like the numbers are that important. I kind of just use that to maintain consistency. But I mean, sometimes I'll go extra hard and do like 400 calories. But for the most part, you set the difficulty. I set it to around 10 or 11, and then I pedal at such a rate that the machine says I burn 10 calories a minute. So if that's a little bit too much, like when I'm doing it, if I can tell that I'm actually starting to really fatigue my legs, then I'll lower the difficulty a little bit. So don't just, do whatever settings I say, right? Do a difficulty that you can maintain for 30 minutes, but, is enough that's actually going to get your heart rate up and let you break a sweat. So after this, I'll probably just go home, eat some something. Not really sure what. I haven't. So since I didn't just have bread with that olive oil, all I had was a keto bun. So instead of 30 grams of carbs, I've only had 3. So the whole breakfast macros, hardly even a breakfast, but it was only 3 grams of carbs, I think 8 grams of fat, and that's it. I guess I wouldn't have minded a little bit of protein, but I'm not really concerned with muscle breakdown right now. You know, it makes sense though. You'd want to eat some protein right when you wake up because you just went the whole night without it. But I'm not I'm not in such an insane deficit that I'm worried about going catabolic. So I think that's pretty much all I gotta say. Let's cut to the Planet Fitness locker room pose down after the cardio, and then we can drive back and talk about some other random shit. All right, so I bet the cardio. Whoops. There we go. I bet the cardio would be easier if I was wearing just a tank top and short shorts, but I kind of like the feeling of being drenched like this. It just, I don't know, it's probably just a mental thing, but oh my god, there's no chance this shirt is going back on. That's solid. All right, let's see how we're looking. So pumpless, but I did just do, the cardio, so I might have a little bit of extra veins popping out just because my circulation's going crazy. Oh, geez. Is this drippable? Oh, that's nice. See, it's just fun when you can literally fucking squeegee out your shirt like that. All right. Oh. Oh. Dude, yeah, the midsection is getting fucking trim. That's definitely one benefit of bulking, just from not having so much food in my stomach. I'm going from walking around to I can't even push it out. But, I mean, when I'm bulked up, not only is some of that weight just from water and carbs, but also I probably got 5 extra pounds of just food constantly in my belly getting digested. Whereas right now, I'd say this is probably approaching, as trim as I'll get, apart from just extra little softness on the sides. Okay. Let's get a last spread and back to the line, and then we're done. Oh. I'm feeling the 30 minutes of cardio. But it's good. Come on, man. It's not that freaking hard. All right, let's do one more and try to get some ab veins coming out, and that'll be good to go. Oh. All right, not happening. Oh. Oh. All right, let's go eat something and Get ready for legs tonight. All right. This is a fucking thick hoodie. I did not expect to be that hot. I was almost maybe pushing the limit of sweatiness there. Because it was kind of like I was drenched from the cardio. And then just sitting there doing, poses, like sitting there and flexing. You're kind of getting a little sweaty then too. Like I had to kind of dab myself off with some paper towels before I put the hoodie on, just so I could, you know, get my arms through it. But cardio is done, and now not only do I need food, but I need something to drink. I'm probably gonna slam. Oh, I don't even. I think the hostile jugs are about 2 liters. I'm sure I'll fill the whole thing up. Do maybe 2 scoops of the Silo 9. Oh shit. They're doing a buy one get one. I think it's buy one get one 50% off. I'm not sure. I need to look again. But here, I'll add it to the description. So the Silent Nine's like a little amino electrolyte mix that I like. Honestly, I should have been sipping on that for cardio. It's not like I think that doing cardio is gonna like make me burn muscle, but I definitely want some amino acids floating around my system, especially since I didn't eat any protein for breakfast. Yeah, that one. What the hell was I thinking? And then I'd probably feel a little bit more hydrated than I am right now. But what are you gonna do? So I'll get home, fill up the jug with that, and probably just slam it before I even eat anything. Then a couple hours later, gonna get legs going. So that's gonna be with the hostile guys. So keep an eye out for that leg day. I'm kind of hyped up for it. We're going to this pretty sick gym in Columbus. But apart from that, so I mean, you'll see that in the future. That'll be kind of a callback to now. But if you're curious, like, oh, does he only do cardio when he posts the videos about it? No, man. Cardio every day. At least, for the most part. If I have a scheduling issue or I had to stay up like super late and it would cut into my sleep, then sometimes I may take off. But no, for the most part, if you sleep enough and you get your food in, cardio in the morning and then training in the evening, I find that to be the best method. And I'm not saying that you should jump straight into that, right? But the advanced lifter, someone who's been lifting for a while, he's constantly exposed to that sort of stimulus, right? If you took a total noob, a total beginner who's never lifted before, and you put him through a push-pull legs like 3-day loop, like have him come in for push, then pull, and then legs, hit his whole body in those 3 days, he's probably going to need a couple days to recover. This is a totally new stimulus. But your body gets better and better at dealing with recovering from the workouts as time passes. So, I mean, I've been doing pretty much no rest days since the beginning of the lifts in high school. I couldn't even remember a time where I took more than maybe 2 days off in a row. Uh, yeah, not even like I've had a couple of surgeries. I had my knee surgery, I think 3 years ago. I didn't have like a brutal like tear or anything weird. I was coming back from the rec center. It was kind of icy, and I sort of slipped and like popped this shit out. So what I mean, it was kind of like weird because I sort of tweaked it too when I was walking some dumbbells back to the bench. But basic gist was they gave me an MRI, and like the inside of my knee, like let's say this is the end of my my thigh bone, my femur, right? This round part with all the cartilage, it's supposed to be nice and smooth, so it can rub up against the my shin like that. And a piece of cartilage and bone had like flipped around. The guy said it was like having a rock in my shoe. But so they had to cut into me, grab that thing, and just pull it out. And it wasn't such a big piece that they had to replace it with like a cadaver either. So they just sewed me up and put me on my way. And I was doing chest like a couple of days later, or I don't know. I forget how long it took because I did have to sit and keep it pretty straight for a couple days. But that's the only time I could really remember having, a couple of days off. Even when I cut my hand really good like all sorts of thumb muscle in here sliced open on accident because my knife safety was not readily available to my mind at the moment. But whatever, they sewed me up, and so I had to get like a reconstructive surgery to put all my tendons back together. But just to the emergency room, they sewed me up from the outside. That same day I still went in and did legs. All I did was leg extensions and hamstring curls. You know, in terms of just general approach to when you're injured, I find that just staying at home resting is probably your worst option, especially if have been in the zone of lifting for a long time. What good is it going to do you to just sit, you know? If you totally smash your leg, go in and do shoulders and arms. Or if your wrist gets totally wrecked somehow, I don't even like to imagine these injuries because it almost feels like I'm asking for it. But, if some portion of your body is just fucked, or let's say screwed up, I'm trying to reduce the F-bombs a little bit subconsciously. Let's say some part of your body is messed up. It is in your best interest to work around it. Because what's going to happen if you just sit at home for like 3 weeks? Your metabolism, blah, blah, blah. Your metabolism's going to crash. You're just going to slow down in general. You're meant to move around. You're not supposed to just sit. Unless you're like, emergency room level, you got to keep the routine going and work around it. Working around an injury will always be better than just sitting around an injury. And that does not mean work through an injury. That is not what I'm trying to say. If sometimes I'll tweak I've tweaked my quads before just a little bit. I've pulled my hamstrings pretty good. I've kind of pulled my chest before. Never like, tear wise, kind of just intramuscular, like a pull. And there's no chance I would try to like keep doing the workout through that. That is sort of your first response, like, oh fuck, I'll finish the workout, whatever. Like, no, that is not the way to go about it. If you can tell you tweak something legit, that's when you hit the brakes instantly. If I do a chest workout and like first set of bench I feel a little something, done, no more. If I do think well, I guess it has to be bad enough that I think it's worth stopping for. But you should be able to gauge that pretty well. At least you definitely should as time passes. But, if my chest is wrecked and I need to take like a month off of heavy pressing, so what? No heavy pressing for me. I'm still going to hit back and arms and shoulders and chest and legs and calves and forearms. And then, once it kind of does start to recover, I want to jump into moving it around. I'm not just going to get straight to a 3-plate bench, but, I'd get on the pec deck really light, get some activations, maybe just do some cable presses, stuff that doesn't, what's the word? Let's say aggravate the area. That's going to be all right for you. And probably good for you, just getting a pump and some nutrients. Hell yeah, man. So I think that's probably enough of the injury talk. Ideally, you never even have to think about that because you'll never get injured. But if you're seriously pushing yourself hard, it's kind of just part of the game. So you got to be able to adapt and overcome to that sort of shit. But I'm gonna get back home, drink my drinks, eat my. Oh yeah, fuck yeah! I got a bunch of top round steaks, lean cut. I think I'll make one of those. That'll be perfect. Maybe I'll do half of one of those with some egg whites, and I'll toast some of the keto buns and turn it into a whole breakfast. All right, now I'm starting to get excited. So I'll probably have that and a couple more meals, and then I've got legs tonight. So this is a little bit of a quick one, but what are you gonna do? I'll see you next time.